So we're going to work out 20% of 30 kilometres. Now I'm going to show you this using a bar model. Now you can see I've set out a bar underneath, which has got 10 boxes in. Now that's because we always start off with 100%. So I'm going to write this along the side. So 100% is always my original amount. So here it's 30 kilometres. So all of this at the moment is my 30 kilometres. Now, the easiest percentage to find first is 10%. That's because if all of this is 100%, then each of these boxes is going to be 10%. So this box here would be just 10%. So 100 divided by 10, because that gives us 10. That's 30 divided by 10. So 30 needs to go into each of these 10 boxes. There's going to be 3 in each box. So I've got 10% is 3 kilometres. Now I want 20%. So remember, each of these boxes is 10%. So if I want 20%, I'm going to need 2 of these boxes. Here's 10%, here's another 10%. So that means altogether I've got 20% is equal to 6. And that's exactly what we did here. We times our 10% by 2 to give our 20% is 6 kilometres. So that demonstrates a bar model and a proportional way of thinking to work out percentages of amounts. Let's have a go at another. So I've got, this time I want 35% of 800. So again I've got my bar, which represents 100%. So all of this is 100%. And in this case it's always the original amount is £800. So I've got 100% is £800. So if I want 10%, I need to split that 800 into all of these 10 boxes. So I need to do 800 divided by 10. Which gives me 80 in each box. Okay, so I want 35%, so I'm going to need 3 of those to get 30, because each of these is 10%, remember, each of these boxes is 10%. So I'm going to need 10, 20, 30%. Now I also need 5%, so at this point I'm now looking at this box over here, and I don't want all of this box. So remember, this box here was actually 10%. So I'm going to draw a bar smack underneath it, because I don't want that anymore. I don't want 10%. I only want 5%, which is going to be half of that box. So that 80 there needs to be split. Let's do that in a different colour so it's clearer. Needs to be split into those 2 boxes. So that means that's going to be 40 and that's going to be 40. So this here is now 5%. If I show you what we were doing here, we were just, to get from 10% to 5%, all I did was divide by 2. So that gets me to 40. I needed to include that 40 in my calculation because altogether I want 35%. I've highlighted what I want, so what now I need to do, add them all together, 80, 80, 80, and the 5% which was 40, add them all together, That's 8, 16, 24, £280. So let's just show you what I would have done if I wasn't doing it using bar model. Doesn't really matter what you're doing. So if I go back to here, I know that I need three 10% because that's going to give me 30, and I need a 5% because that's going to give me 35. I've already worked them out. 10% was 80. 5% was 40, and I end up with the same answer. So my answer is £280. Let's just look at one more. So I've got 40% of 75 seconds. So all of this bar with its 10 boxes represents 100% is 75 seconds. So each of these bars is 10%. So I've got 100% is 75 seconds. I want 10%. So you can see from the bar we need to put 75 divided by 10. 75 divided by 10 is 7.5. So there's going to be 7.5 in each box. And the question asks for 40%, so I need 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, so I need all four of these boxes. So that's 7.5 times 4, or I can do just a quick column method. So that's 5 add 5 add 5 add 5 is 20. 7, 14, 21, 28, 30, so it's 30.0 or just 30. So my answer is 30 seconds.